We've been treated with 3 of the best days in a row of summer. It's not even summer anymore. It is an absolutely gorgeous day. On my way to the barn, we're going to probably go with a couple of the babies. And we're not really in a rush. The one thing about the babies is when you start, you got to keep going, right? It's not fair to them, and it's not easy to go every second or third day in the jog cart. It's just not cool. But, and with the jug coming up and the Lexington sale, it's all kind of jammed and mashed together. We're racing everywhere. There's just a lot going on. And as I said before, and Amy's the one that always brings it up, you do realize the last wave of babies we get from Harrisburg is in November. Yeah, you're right. You're right. So more letting them settle in, getting them out on the floor, because a lot of these horses are not, they are groomed, but to stand in the middle of a shed row with tons of horses surrounding you, making noise, it's unsettling sometimes. So just getting their comfort level up, brush them out, pick their feet. Our blacksmith's going to come in and start shoeing them also. So, more or less an acclimation stage for the babies. And I know every year we usually put them in the harness and go with them. But, that's just part of it. And not the biggest part. The biggest part is getting them, as I said, acclimated to the barn. Now, I did toss and turn all last night. Partly because I was just tired and worn out over 2 days of being at the sale, going out, talking to everybody. It was a fantastic experience in doing that, and we will do that again for Lexington coming up. But, the ups and downs, you got to understand, I mention this every year, but the adrenaline dump of bidding on a horse, trying to see everything in real time with your eyes wide open and looking at everything, it's difficult. Then you're trying to put together this puzzle. I could have bought 2 or 3 more horses easily. The way the sale went, we were way under budget for what we could have done, right? Randy and Bob were the ones with the driving force behind 3 of those horses. I just could have said, okay, tell me what shares you want. We'll put them outside the bucket on the site. And we will be putting some horses outside the buckets on the site. That was the other thing. What do we do about the premium bucket? I'm not forcing my hand on this. A valid argument was made a couple of years ago when I did this. I ended up buying 2 of my top picks and putting them both in the bucket. People said, well, I don't want to carry the load of 2 bills, which is fair, very fair. Somebody else said, well, is there a chance you're going to go and get a pacer instead of these 2 trotters, because I really like trotting fillies and these are 2 dandies? Very good statement also. Of course, it's more than likely we are going to get a trotter for the bucket. We already have a very nice pacing colt and 2 very nice pacing fillies. We have one to come in out of the field. A leather up filly who's beautiful out of Capistrano, our horse. Which also leads me... Yeah, she's nice. It's a she, I think. It's a filly.
Then who was that one you told me to like so we can see him drive?
That was my Jazz's colt. Oh, no. That was that's a baby, though. Those are weanlings. They don't come in this year. They come in next year. We have 4 homebreds to come in this year.
Oh, yeah, the ones we didn't go see.
Yeah, the ones from Pennsylvania and the other ones that are in the other field. You're right, we didn't see those. So, that was the other thing. Somebody said, well, what about putting one of those horses in the buckets? I don't think there's a need to do that. I'll tell you what my feeling was. We would showcase one of them per week over the month of, or maybe the latter part of September into October. Showcase one. Do a video, show the horse being broke, in the harness, jogging, talk about the horse, give you a video, much like we would do at the sale, and then showcase that horse until all the shares are sold out. And move on to the next one and the next one. I think that's the best way to do it. I think, anyway. I think it'd be fun. Really, that's what it's supposed to be about. Anyway, as I said, I tossed and turned a bit tired. I was trying to figure this out, obviously. Do you ever go to bed with like a problem on your head? It's hard just to turn it over and say, I'll work on that tomorrow. I'm good at it. I do it sometimes, but when it's fresh and right there in my mind, I think that's what caused me to toss and turn a bit. All these questions floating around. But I'll tell you what, and part of it, I guess, I was still a little bitter over the whole 155. I know Alan, a super nice guy, said, hey, it didn't matter what you bet on that filly. Those people were taking her home. They buy one filly every year, put it in their broodmare band when they're done racing it. They have plenty of money, and I am telling you, there's no shot you buy that horse. Just one of those, and I knew it when I saw the name, although I couldn't place the lady. I knew the name, and I saw who she was associated with. I saw that she breeds a lot of the horses. I believe he said it was Dick and Joyce McClellan. They breed a lot of the horses. Virgil trains them. They also bought Sugar instead for all that money. As it started racing the filly, that's one of the best filly in Ohio right now. So of course it was, but I'm still left feeling like the kid that just didn't get the right color bike for Christmas, or the cool toy that his friends got, and just spoiled brat syndrome. I think is what I had. The day just went so good, and we just got everything we wanted for less. It just felt easy. And of course it isn't. I mean, just because I was happy, they still have to go race good next summer. But you have to start with a plan. Then you have to be able to execute that plan. Then you have to switch gears, break those horses, jog them, train them down, and execute that plan. That's the struggle of horse racing. That's the beauty of it. Keeps you on your toes all the time. And I was certainly on my toes yesterday. So very, very happy. Thank you for the emails, everybody. I haven't gone through them all yet, but predominantly it looks like everybody was happy with the 2 horses going in the top bucket, which I'm perfectly fine with. We can move lots of stuff around. As I said, I could have worked our way to the financial level that we agreed to, but there was no need of it. I went there to get 10 horses. We ended up with 12, but 3 of those horses were kind of outside influences that were put in the stable. So realistically, we ended up with 9 horses that the stable were on top of. Now, one of those fillies, that's not fair, because one of those fillies was Amy's top pick. She loved that filly, and I was surprised. I did have a number of people email me about number 31. And are there any shares? Going to get shares? There will be some horses going up today. Wendy asked me to send out the list today of who's going where. I will get that done. So if you're sitting there and you just haven't emailed me your thoughts on what I proposed in regards to the Premier list, no bucket, sorry, that horse, or horses in this case, then please do. I don't want anybody saying, "Hey, that wasn't the plan." No, and I think it's fair also. If there's somebody out there, if almost everybody wants to do that, and some people don't, we can just buy the shares back and put them on the site. There'll be no shortage of people wanting in on Megan's lucky day and Aunt Sarah. I can guarantee you that.
Is she related to Aunt Lily?
No. There's really no relation at all. So that's that for yesterday. I went over the horses again that raced. Just truly, and Ronnie apologized, said that he too felt that he just get agitated when he was turning them loose. He was making the right move. It's just a horse. When you stay close to the front, he's a fighter, right? He doesn't want to be letting anybody go either. That's partially because that's how I drive him also. But that's just him, right? You got to know him, and certainly not Ronnie's fault. He was making the right move. What are you going to do? Burn those 2 guys there? I might have, but that's not why I'm not Ronnie. So not his fault. He was trying to do the right thing. The horse made a break. It happens. Drebin was fantastic. Aaron said a little rough, little bumpy. Yes, we did change his shoes. It's not that it's I believe obviously, that move kind of that he made yesterday. Now I asked him to advance in the straightaway as Aaron just kept coming, never dropped him down to the rail. So there's that difference. But he looked a little rough, a little hikey, but looked to me like he was strong in the turns. And obviously to turn everybody away and trot away at 54 the way he did, looks like there's a really, really good horse in there. So great job by Aaron. Thank you very much. All those guys do a great job. And then, Hunter and, Mike, Tim said, Mike, apologize. You have nothing to apologize about. That's exactly how I would have driven him, exactly how I assumed you would have driven him. I didn't know if he was good enough to do in there. He doesn't have to be good enough to do in there. For what we paid for him, for what he needs to do, he will easily make a mess of the classes here in Northfield, because he actually gets around the half better. It's the straightaways when he actually gets out of gear and gets chewing at himself. The turns, he just trot like he was on a rail. So great job yesterday by everybody. I'm heading over there today to drive some. I'm going to miss race 1, 2, and 3 in Northfield. The issue was, one, I don't often get a ton of catch drives, and two, so I don't know. They draw Northfield and then try to close it before they even draw the Meadows. It just was kind of lost on me, I guess. And when the draw came out, I was in the late races at the Meadows and the early drives at Northfield. I won't be able to make it back for, but our horse Lovers Play race 4, I will. So that is what took place yesterday and what's going on right now. I don't think anybody could possibly be displeased with what took place yesterday. Yes, the story I told you about HIP 151, that's life. There's nothing you can do about it. We were never going to get that filly, as it turned out. And I knew that as soon as I saw the ticket. Now, if that ticket had said a normal random person, yeah, I might have been a little angry. The whole thing made me upset. The entire scenario made me upset. But as it turned out, it was one of those things where it didn't matter. The real loser of the whole thing was Hickory Lane Farms, because they come in about 15 grand short, probably, truth be told, at least 10 to 15 grand short on that filly. So I'm getting to the barn right now. I'm going to train Roser and AJ up for Thursday. We made a minor shoeing adjustment. I felt he was a little soft his last start. He won't be soft next week, I can assure you of that. I'm going to train our boy Chappie again. A number of horses. Jason is sleigh. Jason's tired too. You know, he ended up going to a music concert last week or the week before, so we get a little disconnect. But he gets burnt out. We all do this time of year, right? We all get a little, and it's only going to get worse for me. I have to go to Kentucky and Delaware tomorrow. I have to go to look at View Babies on Monday, View Babies on Tuesday, then drive back here for the kids on Tuesday with Amy. Wednesday will be Delaware. Thursday will be Delaware. Friday we get a short reprieve.
What is Lexington?
Lexington's coming up. September 30th is when the sale starts, and that's right when Grand Circuit starts also. So I'll be racing, and that's why I was there last year. It starts the week just leading up to the Lexington sale. So,
Are we not going to Lexington?
What's that?
Are we not going to Lexington?
Define we.
We all united.
Hard no. No. Because you're in school. You're in school. We worked out an agreement. Lauren is going to stay with you guys. Or you guys are going to stay with Lauren. And then Mom's going to come back on the Wednesday of the sales week. Because, and again, if we move, if the Lexington sale goes like this sale went, there'll be no need for me to be there on day 5. Because we'll already have our Ohio buckets built. I guess Ontario is there that day also. You can always look for Ontario breds. But I would suspect Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we'll get most of our work done in Lexington, a little bit on Thursday. But I'm so happy, and this is where John Evans came in also. Being there, focusing on the budget. It was just so nice to have him there. It was like, it's hard to explain. It brought me comfort, I can tell you that, to take care of all the stuff he did. And a big thanks for him coming down to the sale. I know you think my schedule's busy. Please, he makes me look lazy. And it was just great. It was great to have him down there. Steve came down. He left this morning. That was a lot of fun. This is Steve's first foray into the Ohio jurisdiction. So it was nice to have him down. Marcia come all the way from Kansas City to be here. I think she's still here. I want to call her actually and thank her for all her help. And both Jim all the way from Saskatoon to be at in Ohio. Saskatoon. Yeah. Where's that? I've never been to Western Canada.
Saskatoon's the capital of Saskatchewan.
Thank you.
Oh, right. Saskatchewan.
And obviously, Randy and Robert Hutchinson, Bob Hutchinson, for coming out. I love talking to Bob and Randy about their horses because they're a fresh view, right? They have been buying horses and racing and owning horses forever. What they look for, it's always nice to talk to them also. Everybody at that table, it was so cool. And Lexington will be cool there when we get Rob there also. Just talking about the horses, talking about what interests us, talking about what we liked, didn't like, and explaining why. It was refreshing, and it was very, very nice to do that, and I can't wait for Lexington also. So thanks for everybody for coming out. Thanks for the emails. I'll get everything situated today. As I said, I wanted to give everybody an opportunity to comment on what went on with the... Listen, if we had got... And this sounds so stupid, but it is the truth. If we had got on Sarah for $60,000, there's our top bucket right there. There's our premier horse. Instead, we got her for 25% of that. We paid $15,000 for her, and I can't tell you why. I told you yesterday why I thought. I think it was one of those things where people looked at the page, just assumed that Ron Burke was buying the filly, and maybe drifted onto another horse. And by the time the sale started on that horse, everybody had painted her into such a corner, and then Ronnie did not bid. They just said, well, maybe I missed something, maybe I missed something, maybe I missed something, and the hammer went down. So that's my take, because there was nothing wrong with the filly. She was a very, very good-looking filly. And then the Katie's Lucky Day, yeah, I'd put her like 4 or 5 on my list of top horses, just because she was a little small. But I mean, look at the, I know Steve had looked at the residual value. I think when he dives a little deeper into that filly, and I know he will, he may find a little more than he thinks in there. And you can't change the fact that she's a full sister to a mare that was so dominant and so good here in Ohio. Kate, this industry moves so quick, you forget, right? We all do. We forget how good Katie's Lucky Day was. And I can't expect this filly to look at that. Obviously, Greg and Todd Luther didn't like her the same, so not the same body type. But man, what a beautiful little filly. Yes, she was small. Wasn't a midget, she was just small. And for 40, that's probably right what she's worth. Realistically, maybe a hair less. I thought 40 to 50, which dropped her out of the main bucket. I wouldn't have gone, I guess this is worth clarifying, I wouldn't have gone to 60 or 70 for that filly. But at 40, easy purchase. So that's where we landed on everything. I'm going to do a much more in-depth look at the sale in all our videos this week, our videos that I'll be working on today. But for right now, thoroughly pleased with the way yesterday went. When you peel away that one little bruise, of us not getting 155, or at least not getting our bids in on 155 at the end. I know, as I'm sure you do by now also, especially if you're in Ohio and you know the name, we weren't getting the filly. But we certainly got everything else we wanted. I'll tell you later. Anyway, that was the story of yesterday. The story of today is being written as we drive down the road. I'll be training our horses up, getting ready to go to the meadows, coming back for Northfield, and then getting up tomorrow. I get to watch Ollie play baseball because our horses are in a little bit later.
I have baseball.
You have baseball tomorrow in the morning.
I have football.
That's right, you have both. If you want to play baseball and football, guess what, Bo Jackson? Sometimes you're going to have to play both in one day.
Okay.
So you play baseball tomorrow morning, and I can't wait to see you play. I haven't seen you play on that team yet. I haven't seen that team play. So I'm excited to watch them. And then I'm off to Delaware. I'm going to race horses tomorrow. Then I'm down to Kentucky after that. I'm going to probably watch James drive Gaslight Hall, watch Arson. I may miss Arson, I don't know, but I'll be there right after. Maybe go out and have a drink after and try to unwind a hair, because it's been a touch stressful over the last 48 hours. But you know what? That's the business. That's the life. I will talk to you all soon. Take care.